Hello, how are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. How are
Yes, I
you?
am very well, thank you. And we are here today to have a little chat about expectations and the expectations that we put on ourselves. And as much as we're going to have a conversation about this, we also hope, don't we, Kat, that this is a reminder to anyone who is listening that if you've got a lot of expectations on yourself right now, by the end of this episode, we hope that you have removed a few because it is so easy to do, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. We have a tendency to set our expectations
Mhm.
high. And sometimes those expectations come from the shoulds when we should all over ourselves. So I should be doing this. I should be able to do this. I should be able to cope. I should be able to manage on my own. I should be able to spin 25 plates all at once successfully without one
Yeah.
wobbling. And then I think we step into that realm of, because we feel we should, we're expecting so much of
Yeah.
ourselves. And I know personally when I'm in that space, the biggest thing I need to do is just give myself a break.
Yeah. Something that sounds so simple, not so easy to do, guilt free, is it? And God, we feel that. And I think
Mm,
that's something that even we will always work on, won't we? Because we have to be able to give ourselves a break without guilt. We deserve a break. We deserve to feel enough
mm,
and we deserve our own kindness. I think we're so easy to give it out, aren't we? It comes so naturally to just be there for others,
mm.
but we've got to be there for ourselves and we can't expect the world. We've got to give ourselves time and patience and love to get the most from ourselves as well, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, in particular, with regards to change, when we're making
Mm-hmm.
changes or things have changed in our lives, um, that's when expectations come into play, don't they? Because we may just think of an example.
Oh, yes, I have one actually.
I don't know. Let's say we. Oh, go on. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, because our family life has changed a lot um well, it's been one hell of a year anyway, but our routine as a family has been pretty non-existent because of work and different things. It's just been kind of grabbing time, me and Dale, wherever we can. And yeah, we've just not had that routine, I suppose, and solid routine. So we've recently got back
Mm,
into one, and which has been great, really, really good. But I think what had happened was I had put the expectation on myself to be able to do everything and keep up with doing everything that I was doing before. And I got to the
mm,
point of exhaustion where I just thought, I can't do all these things. And it felt like I had to, as much obviously, have that conversation with my husband, but also have that conversation with myself and be like, Charlotte, stop trying to do everything because you're not being very good at anything when you're trying to do everything. And that's quite a pinnacle
mm,
point of it as well, isn't it? Like if we spread ourselves too thin, we're not being ourselves in any area because we're rushing to the next thing and the next. And I had to have that conversation,
mm,
like I say, with my husband, but also with myself to just let a few things go and just find our new routine. Um, so that kind of
mm.
ties into how high my expectations were of myself because I was expecting a lot from myself. And I was instantly feeling like a failure because I was like, I can't keep up, I can't do everything. And I was getting into that calm phase.
Yeah,
But it just took a
yeah.
conversation and some kindness to myself to be like, I can't. That's okay.
Mm, yeah.
We can.
And I think just touching on that, like, because I can really relate to that when you're trying to do everything because you feel, here's the word again, you should be
Yeah.
able to do everything. And it's like, well, where do those shoulds come from? Is that from like just comparing and looking at other people and thinking, oh, well, she's working full time and she's got the house absolutely spotless and her kids are wonderfully behaved and she works out 4 days a week and she's super fit and she's this, and And actually, like, it's all that comparison that we set this expectation of ourselves that's unrealistic and unachievable. Well, actually, we have no idea what she is going through, and she'll be winging it. She'll be winging it like everybody else. And there'll be things that she feels she's not meeting up to. And I think the moment, if we just stop comparing ourselves to get rid of these shoulds and just be realistic with our expectations, step out to do, this sounds like quite contradictory here, but obviously this is all inner work, but it's almost like stepping outside of ourselves for a moment to do a bit of inner work and going like, right, what would if Charlotte said to me, right, our family structure and our lifestyle is changing because I've started this business. So I'm moving from stay-at-home mum to working full-time on developing and growing a business. And for anybody out there that's ever started a business, they know how much that is effort and time is required in that. So our family structure and life is changing. So you come to me and you say like, but what I really do expect, Kat, is for me to be able to just slot straight into that within like 3 weeks. I'd turn to you and go, with all due respect, Charlotte, I love your optimism, but could you just get a little bit more realistic here? Because you've been a stay-at-home mum for X amount of years, and in a matter of weeks, you want to just, you know, have this expectation that your new routine is going to be exactly where you want it to be straight away. And it's like, just allow yourself that time from a very kind way to ourselves, allow ourselves that time to make those adjustments. And it's not saying like, if we're not setting expectations high, we're not pushing ourselves. It's just being realistic to be able to achieve it and not then feel exhausted, burnt out, and just failing, which we're not. Nobody's failing.
It's definitely. And I think that for me has been as well being open to new ways of doing things, because we can so easily, like I did, take everything on, and it just kept on coming, and I was trying to do everything. And you almost have to be open to, okay, right, this isn't working right now. It's actually not. But how can I make it work? How can I grab those moments for me? And that looked, you know, one of the things that we did was Dale's taken on like walking Denzel in the morning, our dog, so that when I'm on the way back from the school run, I've got a peaceful, just couple of minutes, 10-minute walk, but I've got that peaceful moment, and it doesn't take much, but that changes my whole day, just because I've had that little bit of time. And you know, it's not a big change in our routine, it's just delegating of who's doing what, but it does make a big difference. And I think it's being open to new ways of doing things and having those conversations that really helped me.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing to point out, isn't it? That if we're struggling with our own expectations, it's taking a moment to be like, right, well, what isn't working, and why am I not meeting my expectations? What can I do differently? Yeah. What can I do? Do I need to tweak my expectations? Do I need to change the way we're working here? You know, if we have the luxury of having somebody else, like a partner, husband, wife, that we can share the load with, it's like, well, what adjustments can we make? Where can we source help that we're possibly not sourcing help? And then just sorry to repeat, but just give ourselves a break and just know that we can do anything but not everything.
Absolutely.
And one step at a time. And it's not kind of just like head down, plough through to look up at the weekends or look up at retirement. It's trying to just kind of shift a few little things so that we can look up during the week and have moments of joy and happiness. And create that balance.
Yeah, for sure. This is probably going on to a whole new topic, which we'll save for another day. But my word of the year, I was actually struggling to get my word of the year, but I like to pick a word of the year. And I can't remember what it was, but it's definitely become trust. And the expectations for me is sometimes I think that I've got to have something done by a particular date or time and it doesn't go to plan, and that makes everything feel really out of control, and I'm feeling bad about myself. I feel like, oh, I failed at that. I'm not managing to do it. I'm thinking about it, spending too much time thinking about it rather than actually probably doing it. And just this whole notion of trust is, we even had this yesterday, didn't we? Neither of us were having a very productive day. We just were not in the zone at all. We were both like...
We were having such a, what was the word? Yeah, the word we used
day.
to describe our day yesterday was meh. It was just so like forced, wasn't it?
And it just was not.
It was not right.
It wasn't coming. And that is one of the things that I've learned to, right, days come like that. That is your chance. That was our chance to just stop, rest. And actually then we've both woken up to a new day today, and I've probably achieved more in my day this morning than I could have achieved like in a week of that state. You know, when you think that's the difference. And I think with our expectations, it's balancing them, and it's forgiving yourself if you're just not in the zone, because many of us have days like that. I'm thinking all of us have days like that, where it's just not happening, and that is okay. Like, be kind to yourself and know that the day where you do feel better is coming quicker if you be kind to yourself about the day that you felt unmotivated, or like you didn't have that energy to be productive.
That's really nice, actually. That thought of like the quicker and sooner you are kind to yourself. Sorry, I said that right. The quicker you move forward and out of that. And it's just allowing ourselves to have those days where we can't be and do everything. Being kind to ourselves.
And it's about having a bit of it, making it lighthearted, I find as well. Like sometimes I think you can, like, I know me back a few years ago, I would have sat and dwelled in that, like, oh, I'm just can't do it, you know, all of those things, and it would have felt heavy, it would have felt a lot. And now I'm just like, I have a little conversation with myself in my head, and I'm like, Charlotte, come on, you're just not feeling it today, like that's fine. And having that nicer conversation with yourself, I was going to say like a script with yourself, but you know, like that tool that you bring out, that when you're having that day, have a joke with yourself, be like, it's all right, it'll come back. And rest without guilt. And I definitely just thought I need to switch off and do something else, and it will come back. So trust. Maybe that's a big takeaway from this episode, is see how much more you can trust the timing of your own life, and rather than pushing and rushing, try just going with the flow. And I think sometimes that sounds like I'm too busy to go with the flow, but actually in slowing down, sometimes you massively quicken up. And I've definitely found that.
To summarize, manage your expectations and stay in your own lane. Don't compare to others, because we're all winging it. Be kinder to yourself with the expectations. And if you need to take a moment to step outside of yourself and say, well, if this was a friend going through XYZ, what expectations? And she came to me and she said, right, these are my expectations. What would I be saying back to her? I'd say, come on now, let's get a bit more realistic. Be kinder to yourself. Be patient and trust. So
love that.
Yeah,
brilliant.
There we go.
Just to summarize that,
super. So go manage those expectations. Yeah, go manage those expectations. Yeah, and if you've enjoyed listening to this short episode, then if you feel it would help somebody else, then please share to help others. And if you fancy leaving us a review, that helps us get heard more and help others more and quicker and faster.
Definitely. Amazing. Brilliant. Why have I got the giggles? Here's a bit of real life giggles. Sometimes we get
you're probably laughing because that was so untidy what I just said. What I'm trying to say, guys, is we'd like to help as many people as possible. So if you could share our podcast and give us a review, we'd be really grateful, because we can help as many people.
We really would. And we're not going to cut this out because this is real life. And you're like,
oh gosh, yeah, okay, right, yeah.
I do apologise. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, it's like one of those TV shows. It used to have the credits at the end. Was it TV shows or a film? And then it's like the bloopers. The bloopers. We'll keep the bloopers in.
That's it.
Right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Have a wonderful day.
Be kind to yourself and give yourself
Take
that
care.
break. Bye. Bye.
Bye.